Hi guys, welcome to Chugging along. I'm Sam.
And I'm Tim.
And welcome to our channel and our video.
Yeah, so thank you very much for your comments on our last video that we made with Colin.
We got a lot of feedback from everyone to say that they enjoyed that style of video. So we're looking forward to doing more canal lives once we actually get cruising on the canals.
Yeah. And also, if you've got a very good eye, you will notice that there is something a little bit different this week. That is right, I have been attacked with a pair of scissors by her, haven't I? Yeah,
it was like Samson Delilah, just hacked away at his hair.
Yeah, I've still got my powers though, I've still got my powers, and don't worry, this isn't a big change, this is just my routinely yearly trim, isn't it, that you do for me?
Just the yearly trim.
Yeah, it's all good.
So, Tim, let's tell everyone, what's today's video about?
Yes, so today's video is about the changes we would make to our boat behind us, Mary L. And this was actually inspired by a comment that came on one of our videos by one of the previous owners of our boat, a man called Alan, and then we got to emailing us and we saw some really cool pictures of what she looked like before. You'll see it on the screen there. She was a completely different blue colour, those lovely gold coach lines, and if you notice, different seating in the lounge, and the fireplace was actually in the middle of the boat. So that got us thinking, how would we change Mary L? Like, what do we want our lasting legacy to be on this vessel?
Yeah, of course. And we've been here for about 8 months now, so we've got a good idea of what it actually means to be on her and live on her the way that she currently is laid out. So we think we're in a good position now to actually think about the changes that we could make, and that's what we will be exploring in today's video.
So first we're going to talk about the length of our boat. So that is obviously a very important thing when you come to choose one. Ours is 53 feet, which is just a tiny bit shorter than the average continuous cruising boat, which is 57 feet. And to be honest with you, that's absolutely fine. If anything, well, I always think that maybe we could go a little bit shorter. I see those 40-foot boats, those 45-foot boats, and I just like the way they look. I think they're really interesting. I genuinely think we could cope with that. But of course, we don't have any plans to just start cutting into Mary L and welding her back together again. So 53 feet will be what we will stay with. But also, a reason why shorter can be better is because you would pay less if you do go into a marina, because you pay per foot, and also long-term mooring as well. So there are some advantages, but you know, we've got our 53 and we're going to stick with it.
Next, on to painting. So to be honest, we're quite happy with Mary L's colour scheme. We really like it. We think the colour scheme really works for her. That being said, she does need a bit of a touch up, and we do need to start getting some paintbrushes on her just to try and touch up her navy where she's been sort of scratched over time. So that's something that we're going to be looking forward to doing. Another thing also that we could do is we could also do some painting on the inside of her doors. I got gifted a paint set, so I'm looking forward to having a go at doing some traditional Braunston roses and castles on the inside of her crutch and stern doors as well. So that will be quite fun to do.
So I really like this red rectangle here at the back, and there are some other red accents splashed across the boat. But I was thinking there could actually be more red. You see, we've got this massive bit down here that is just pure navy. And if you look at these gaps between the windows, I was thinking we could have some rhombuses, some red rhombuses with a white outline. You could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you count that out, you've got 5 red rhombuses. Each one of them could have a letter on, so it could have M, A, R, Y and L, so then it could spell out Mary L. We'd have plenty of splashes of red, and yeah, I think that could look really good. That is a potential project for the future. What do you think about that?
Now onto the roof, and we have got a little bit of space left on the roof, so we thought what we could do is get some seats on the roof. Well, partly inspired by Cruise Narrowboat because they've also got the same setup. So we thought we could get some pallet wood and dismantle that pallet wood and create 2 little seats from that, paint those seats down in Mary L's colours, and then we could sit down on the roof in summer and take in the canals, have breakfast, lunch and dinner on the roof. It's like an extra room basically, so that's something we're really looking forward to doing. Another thing also would be to get a second centre line. So we've only got one at the moment, and where the towpath changes it gets really annoying because you have to flip the centre line over to the other side and it can get caught on the solar panels. So having a second centre line would mean we'd have to faff around really.
So now let's talk about our solar panels. We have 2 big ones here, and we couldn't have survived winter without these things. Now if you do look at the roof, we do have space for maybe 1 or 2 more, but like what Sam was saying, we want to create a seat. We want to be able to enjoy our roof when we are cruising and looking at all these amazing views. So 2 is definitely enough, and they have been really effective. So we've got no plans on changing these babies anytime soon.
For anyone who doesn't know, we've actually got what we call a traditional stern on our boat, which is fine, although we were thinking about the idea of having a cruise stern. The reason being is that you just get a lot more space in the back, and we thought that'd be quite nice, especially if you've got visitors over, if we've got anyone coming over to visit us. There's just more space on the back for more people, especially in summer. That being said, Mary L has got a very special feature which was actually installed by Alan. This hatch is a lot larger than what you'd normally get on a traditional stern, and to be honest, because of that hatch, it does give us a lot more space here in our engine bay area. If anything, it actually feels more like a semi-trad, which is sort of like a combination of a cruiser and a normal traditional stern. And it just means that we've got a lot more space here now where we can actually keep our bikes, keep items, and most importantly, we can keep them secure. So to be honest, I don't think we would be looking to change this setup anytime soon.
Okay, so here is our engine room there. So like Sam mentioned before, when we pull that hatch back, our bikes are nice and secure in here. And underneath there is where we have our leisure batteries. So we have 3 125 amp hour batteries. When we originally bought the boat from the marina, we took it off the mains power and the numbers were dropping really quickly, so we had to replace them right away. Yeah, there was originally 3, so we got 3, but maybe next time we would look at getting 4 just to give us a bit more capacity. And under here is where we have our engine, and yeah, we don't have any plans of replacing our engine at all, because obviously that's quite a big palaver, big thing to do. So yeah, the only other thing about power that we would maybe consider changing, if we are continuously cruising throughout winter, the next winter, then we would look at getting a wind turbine or a petrol generator, which has been suggested to us, and they definitely seem to make sense. So yeah, there we go. Okay, so coming in here, so there's nothing that we would want to change about my office or the bedroom. So let's come through here and go into the bathroom here. So this is our shower here, which we haven't actually been using that much during the winter. We have been using the bucket, to have bucket showers. So we've been heating up water with the kettle and then pouring it in there and using that, because our water is heated up by running the engine, and in winter we haven't been moving very much. So we were thinking that we could get a camping shower. So you still heat it up with the kettle, but then you sort of have it up here. It could go next to the regular shower, and then we can have sort of normal sort of showers that are then heated up with gas. So yeah, that could be a good solution, something we're looking to change. So here we are here, and there is the compost toilet, the controversial contraption. Recently the CRT have released another statement saying that boaters have until the end of the year to work a solution out, and the CRT are going to be actively working with boaters to find a solution, so that is really good news. And of course, yeah, we are on standby, so yeah, we might have to change the situation with that at some point. So yeah, watch this space to find out what our next toilet adventure will be.
In our kitchen we have our 2-hob burner, and to be honest, it's not ideal because having a 4-hob burner would be a lot better, because then it just makes it a lot easier when you're doing lots of cooking and you've got lots of pots and pans on the go. It does mean that using the 2-hob burner to make a full English can be a bit tricky and a bit fiddly, but we make do. And to be honest, whilst it's not ideal, it's not something we're going to change immediately. With regards to our oven and our grill, we're very happy with the two. I mean, it's taken a while getting used to, because the oven's mainly gas and we've been using electric or fan ovens for a bit, but we're really happy with the setup, to be honest, so I don't think we're going to change that anytime soon. Right, so our fridge, unfortunately, it's a bit on the small side. It would be nicer to have a bigger fridge, because we haven't really got that much space to store items in there, and we can't even have frozen pizzas stored inside the freezer section because it's so tiny, to be honest, which is a bit of a shame. But to be honest, we can't go any bigger as far as fridge space is concerned, because that would just consume more power, and it's been tricky enough in winter as it is trying to keep the fridge going. To be honest, most people in winter, what they usually would do is just turn their fridge off and have a cool box and just put items in there. So that could be something else we could do in the future. One thing which is new in our kitchen, which we wouldn't change, is this, which has been gifted to us. So it's a Mr. D's thermal cooker, and it was gifted to us by Jilly D. So thank you so much, Jilly D, for gifting this to us. We're really looking forward to using it. And for those of you who aren't too sure as to what a thermal cooker is, basically it acts like a slow cooker, and it allows you to cook your meals without really using much power. The only power that you have to use is when you just have to heat up your items for about 10 to 15 minutes before it then does its full slow cook. And that you can just do on the gas stove or on your fireplace, heat them up, heat the contents up for 10 to 15 minutes, and then away you go. So we're really looking forward to using this. We see it more of a summer utensil that we're going to be using, because obviously we won't have our diesel stove on at the time. And there have been rumours that this could make an appearance in a cook-off in summer, and who knows, maybe a change in season could actually work in Tim's favour, and he might be able to win the summer cook-off with this.
Okay, so let's talk about the seating here. So as you can see, these are our 2 sofas that also work as 2 single beds. Must be said, they've had some pretty bad reviews as beds from the guests that we had in the summer. But these things really come alive because they can seat so many people, and the fact that they are hollow and they have so much storage in them as well. But it must be said that neither of these are actually at 50% capacity, so we almost have too much storage. And we were thinking that we could get rid of these and get a proper sofa bed, so it could be like a really nice sort of normal comfortable sofa, then that could fold out into a double bed that could be more comfortable. But then that would be quite sad, I think, because these were handmade by Alan, one of the previous owners, and they sort of make Marielle what she is. And you know, it is good to know that we have the potential to store something if we do get some more stuff. So although they have bad reviews, we don't care. We're going to keep them, and you know what? Our bed's comfortable, and that's all that really matters, isn't it?
So moving on to our fireplace, and as Tim's mentioned, we saw in the photos that Alan sent us that the fireplace used to be in the middle of the boat, which makes sense because then the heat can sort of spread more efficiently in the boat. And when now the fireplace is here, it does take a while for the heat to make its way to the end of the boat, especially when it's cold or as it's been in winter. So we did think an idea could be to move the fireplace back to the middle of the boat, but that would be a lot of faff. And to be honest, we're actually really happy and fine with it being where it is now, and it means we can sort of huddle around it as well, so it's not that bad really. The location of the fireplace isn't something we're looking to change, But we have been talking about the option of maybe having a multi-fuel stove. The reason for that is because you can then use coal or wood. It gives you a bit more options. At the moment with our diesel fireplace, it runs off the diesel coming from our main fuel tank, and that can be a bit of a problem because it means that we can't really keep our fuel tank topped up, and you really want to try and keep it topped up in winter, because with the cold you get condensation build up in the fuel tank, and that can lead to water getting in, and that water can start corroding and start causing erosion in the fuel tank, and then you get all the gunk from there that gets into the fuel, and that unfortunately can lead to problems with your boat, because your boat can stall because you're not getting enough fuel getting through to the engine, because everything gets clogged up essentially. So that's something that we've been very aware of recently, and it's just been a result of not really being able to get the fuel boat over to come and keep us as topped up as we'd liked. So having a different type of stove would be an option. But if we didn't want to go down that route, then another option could be to actually have a secondary tank attached to our diesel stove. And that secondary tank, we could just put extra diesel in there, and then the fireplace could actually run off that tank instead. Or we could even put kerosene in there, which we hear also burns quite well, if not better.
Oh. Okay, so this is the cratch cover here. Which we actually feel quite lucky to have, because it wasn't something that we were looking for when we bought a boat, but this one already came with it on, and they're quite expensive to get installed. And in winter actually it's been really good at stopping that draft, that cold draft, get into those bow doors, and in summer it's really nice as well. So yeah, 2 thumbs up on the cratch cover. No plan on changing it.
Hello.
Oi oi.
Okay, so there you have it, all those potential changes and the actual changes that we would make to Marielle. So I think just to summarise, in terms of the changes that we would be looking to make quite soon, definitely on the painting. We'd like to get some painting done.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Tim's mentioned about the paintwork he'd like to do, and I've also mentioned about the paintwork I'd like to do on her as well. And also getting the extra centre line on the roof.
Yeah.
And also the pallet seats.
Yes, the pallet seats will also be a nice summer addition.
Yeah.
And also winter additions could be the camping shower. So yeah, when we're showering in winter, that'd be really helpful. And if we are continuously cruising throughout winter next time, the wind turbine and the petrol generator.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the things we're going to be looking at. So yeah, thank you very much for watching all the way to the end of this video. We really appreciate that. And remember guys, no matter what you do in life, you've got to keep